What's going on, everybody? My name's Derek, this is Fatal RPM, and in today's video we're finally actually going to be trying to attempt to maybe probably get the car started for the first time. I think. So, if you've seen the last video, you know we were struggling with actually trying to get some oil pressure in this thing. In the end, we finally got it done. And as you can see here, the engine is in a bit of a different state from the last video. And that's just because I threw everything on that I already had on before. We got the cooling system put back in, all plumbed up. We got that all set back up. We got the timing system set back up. We got this guy here, which we will talk about in a later video for the Ross Performance timing set kit thing. But full sequential now, we aren't going to be doing semi since I actually had the time to be able to do this. You got the fuel system all hooked back up, the ignition system all hooked back up. Everything's plugged up, plumbed up, ready to go. We have not confirmed that those fittings down there aren't going to leak as long as like the actual screw-on fittings. We know the compression fittings aren't leaking. We know the oil is going to hold pressure here as well as on the bottom. The only one that we don't have confirmed yet that isn't leaking is going to be the drain that goes back into the pan. We know that this one isn't leaking under here anymore. Right under the turbo. We know that pretty much everything else is good. So I think we're about to the point where it's time to get the fuses plugged back in and trying to get this first start here. So let's go ahead, hop in the car and get those fuses tossed back in and get the computer booted up. Alright, so if we take a look at our little guide here, looks like I took out the first 3 of these, which is bank 1, bank 2, and injectors. So we got a 30, 30, 15. Now from what I remember, I didn't have multiple 30s, so I should have a 25, a 30, and a 15 down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up down in here. Now if you're wondering how I did all this, I'll go ahead and link the wiring video up. I think I'm sticking these in on the sides, not in the slots. There you go. We got those guys plugged in there. Now, last thing we need to do here is we need to get the fuel pump relay plugged back up back here. This is where it goes ahead and plugs in. Come on. Okay, I might actually need 2 hands for this. Got that hooked up. Now it's time to go over here and hop on the computer. Alright, so here we are with this guy. I'll set back up. Let's go ahead and open up project called Fresh Z. I need to rename this. Give ourselves a once over here of fuel. Let's go ahead and wait in here if we hear all the stuff click on. Alright, got those on. Hear it clicking. Everything's good up there. Let's go ahead and check fuel lines. Make sure nothing's leaking. Dry. This is going to be dry because that was never undone. Take a peek down in here. This, I don't smell fuel, which is good. This is good. I mean, this is the return, so that should be good. But that's good. This is the feed. I don't smell fuel, which is great. Come on. Thank you. All right. Oh, shit, it's leaking right there. Oh, no. That's not a good spot to be leaking. Where's it leaking? How's it leaking? It's leaking from the fitting, it would appear. Alright, so we just need to tighten that guy back up. Well, that's down there now. We have to get that back somehow. Ah, that is definitely tight. Definitely on there. No leaks, cool. Check the other side here. No leaks, cool. Check the back. No leaks back there. Amazing. So it looks like we are good. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on here so I can actually see what type of PSI we get. Not getting any fuel pressure. That's really weird. Is it leaking out of somewhere? I wonder if the way this is set up, can it feed from the, yeah, it can feed from the bottom, can it? Because this thing is not moving at all. I don't know if it can feed from the bottom or not. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I don't know if it can or can't. I might have to rotate this. I don't know yet. Let me check some of the literature for this guy to see if I can feed it from the bottom. Did not take me very long to figure that one out. I legit just walked over, grabbed the box, and as you can see, right on the box, fuel out on the bottom. So no, can't do that. So I'm gonna have to rotate this. And I just need to rotate this guy like that. Actually, I need to rotate it like that, so I need to swap the fittings. I need one to go in, one to go out, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Okay. Actually, I didn't need to take that. This is the only one I didn't. God damn it. That's one. Take this out device for this. Alright, cool. Have this sitting here. That way I can read it from the driver's side and I can do all the adjustments and stuff over here still. Alright, should be good. Alright, let's get this back on the car. So we are completely reinstalled here. As you can see, that's how our fuel pressure regulator is going to be set up from here on out. We got fuel coming in from the other fuel well, going back out. So now we can go ahead and properly test this. I'm gonna set you guys right here. Looking like it was pushing, what was that, about 57? No leaks right here, which is great. Now that we're getting pressure in the back, go ahead and feel around for that in here. Which I'm not getting any wetness. We are all good. Alright, no fuel anywhere. Yeah, so that was about 57 PSI. So I was definitely off when I was doing the bar conversions, which I mean, it's no problem. Honestly, it's just a little high for what we need. But other than that, everything else is set here. We've checked. We now have no more fuel leaks. Let me go ahead and double check back here. We're all good. We already know we're good at the crossover there in the back because that would have been leaking before. We're all good down there. I think I turned on the light accidentally, but that's actually helping look for wet spots, which it does not appear to have any. Perfect. All right. Let's go ahead, kill this, and see what we have going on here. Alright, so our idle is supposed to be around 700. So I'm going to change this all here to 12. It's going to be super rich, but that will pretty much affirm the fact that we're not going to be running too lean. So that's between 5 and 800 with basically no load. So I'm going to go ahead and burn that. Go ahead and close that. We're going to check our ignition table real quick, which honestly, we're not going to be doing anything with this right now. We're going to keep this open and we're going to take a peek at what we got going on here with our first start, or attempted first start, or our attempted first start. All right, so our garage door is closed right now and I don't want to die from poisoning just in case this thing does start up. So let's go ahead, get the garage door open. Cool. All right, so with the garage door open, we can go ahead and actually try and get this thing to turn over. Let's see what we got here. Whew. That was loud. Guess that's what happens when you don't have exhaust on this thing. What time is it? Hold on. Let me make sure it's not too late for me to be doing this. It's 9:18. We'll be fine. It's going to be really loud. So now that I know how loud it's going to be, woo! Wow, that smells strong. What am I looking for? 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 These guys. If you don't know what these are, I bought these when I was doing the air suspension on my Beamer because all amount of hammering was making my ears ring. So probably got tinnitus from that. Actually, I definitely got tinnitus from that. But these are earplugs. All right, ear protection is in. We are now safe. Let's go ahead and try to start this again. I want to see where we're sitting. Alright, so I don't think we're getting enough air, so let's go ahead and adjust our idle. But that should be enough for idle. We'll see. Alright, let's try it again. Alright, so get our fuel table up. I don't know what's going on there, but that's sounding really weird. Let's go ahead. I want to see if they have anything for cranking, any cranking settings. Alright, so I had this set to 700, so I'm going to turn that down to, it knows it's cranking, but I'm going to turn down to 200 because that seems to be what our cranking RPM is. I set this a few hundred above your typical fast cranking speed, 500. So we'll burn that. Alright, so I need to investigate this just a little bit further, but I think we might be good now. Feels like it wants to start. Our RPM is like at 150, which is not great right now. I'm gonna go ahead and double check some of the ignition settings here. Number tooth angle, 40 degrees before top dead center. Let's go ahead and just double check that. 0 is top dead center. That missing tooth is right here. So yeah, that's about 40 degrees before top dead center. Actually, it might be 50 instead of 40. We're gonna set that to 50. But yeah, so let's go ahead, close. Let's go ahead and give it a power cycle. Alrighty, let's go ahead and try and start it. So that's still not liking it. I push this above 70% right here. It will do a fuel cut down here, so it can like clear it out just in case it's flooding, which I don't think it is, but we'd love to see what our fuel pressure is, but that's kind of hard for me to see. Alrighty, I'm just going to play with this for a little bit and we'll see if changing something does something. Alright, so I think we may have figured out the issue here. My tooth 1 is all types of screwed up. So we need to count how many teeth in rotation to tooth 1, clockwise rotation to tooth 1, when the engine's at top dead center. And what we have here, the engine's at top dead center. That's off by a little bit because it's off and to the right, as you can see. So slightly to the left of that is top dead center, which is where we have it set at 0 degrees. If you take a look down here, our sensor is at around 180 degrees before top dead center, which I mean, we knew already. If we add 180 degrees and then an additional 40 to tooth 1, which is where that is, we add 40 to 180, which is 220. We should have the right setting. So we're gonna go ahead, set this to 220, give it another crank, and see what happens. 220 for tooth 1, burn that in. Now, we might get a start here, just in case. I have a good feeling that this is gonna start. I wanna put in my AirPods. There we go. That's fun. So we have engine speed. We know oil pressure is relatively good. Coolant temp doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and try that one more time. This time with a little bit of gas. Whew. So it looks like we were sitting down here. As far as the AFR goes. That. we're gonna switch the setting here, and we are going to go from alpha N. Ooh, that's smelling strong. We're gonna go from alpha N to speed density. We burn that since we're not hooked up to the turbo at this point in time, or the turbo's not plumbed in. This should be fine. So let's go ahead and see what we got to work with here.